bare root, it would have been a lot easier for me to deal with because I could have put it, had to have such a big hole. So now I got my work cut out for me on that, but I'm going to put them in the ground this year because I this winter I put them toward the house and they were protected and they did fine, but moving them pots around and all that, I just don't want anything to do with that. So they're going in the ground. I'm here in upstate New York, zone 6A and B, and we have pretty cold weather. So, do you guys have a garden, Florence, Rosalind? I was just wondering if you have a garden. So, but what I wanted to talk about, the subject that I was talking about when I said, when your highest point, that's when the devil comes for you. So, what made me think of that, and you're going to hear some noise in the background because I have little kids that live next door to me and they're out there playing and they make their sounds and everything. So you're going to hear that and you may hear a neighbor's dog barking too. Okay. But anyway, when Will Smith hit Chris, I think it was Chris Rock, Denzel Washington said to him, when you're he said, be careful when you're at your highest, that's when the devil comes for you. And so I thought about that. I said, yeah, that is so true. So it started last year. Last year, I think you on the brink of something big happening. Oh, okay. Florence said something. Yes, I am in Florida zones 9B and A. Lot of containers and 3 raised beds. Beautiful. That's good to know. Gardens are wonderful. Even if you don't have a garden, it's so wonderful just to watch somebody garden. I love watching people garden. So last year, I know this isn't about gardening, but this is just something that was on my mind and I wanted to mention it to people because I think a lot of gardeners do get frustrated and quit. But what happened to me was, seemed like everything started going wrong. Even though, my channel was doing good, my videos were, I'm growing, everything was going good like that. But then it was around here that seemed like I have a big yard and I have a lot of responsibility. And so I have equipment and things that I need to use. And it seemed like everything had a problem. Everything had a problem. I kid you not. It was like the riding more. Now I get the problem. The push more. Now I got the problem. The leaf blower thing has a problem. And I'm talking about stuff that's not that old. A couple of years. Some of this equipment 2 years old and haven't even used it that much. And my saw don't work. And I was like, oh Lord. Just like this year, I was just like, God, I've had it. And I wasn't going to throw the towel in, no. But I was just like, what is going on here? And it was just like one thing would happen, then I turn around, something else had happened, then something else. It was just, to me, it's not a coincidence that these many things are all coming at me at one time. To me, that wasn't a coincidence. So I just felt like, I don't know. So I just, I said, that's all right. I'm going to keep on praying. I'm going to keep on believing. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on stepping. Ain't nothing going to stop me. So, then I was trying to find people because a lot of these people where I live at, business people, they're ripping off. Everybody is about the dollar and they ripping people off. Everything, they hollering the gas price. But it's not all about the gas price. It's about a lot of it price gouging. So I was thinking, I don't want to take this to anybody. They're going to be so high. They're going to want so much money. And it's just like, what am I going to do with all this stuff having a problem? And there's nobody that I know that could fix it. I had one friend that used to do stuff for me, but he passed away. So, there was nobody else that I knew. So anyway, I went on this Facebook group that is a group for my community, the town that I live in. And I went on there and I saw that people were putting in there, if they had a need, I need somebody to do this or whatever. And then other people was responding back with people they knew. So I said, well, hey, it won't hurt. I went in there and I put in there and that I had a need. And I met one person that was willing, because I wanted somebody to come over and help too. And met one person that was a female, and she said she would love to come over and help me do some stuff in the garden and everything. Of course, I would be paying for it. But then everything started, Ukraine happened and all that stuff, and everything like it's getting to a point that I thought, I don't know if I need to be paying anybody to be helping over here. Maybe I need to do this all on my own and hold on to whatever I have, because, we don't know what's down the road. So, and I am a person of faith. So that's one thing I will say. I'm not a person who doesn't believe, or the least little thing happens to me is woe is me and have a pity party. I'm not that person. Okay. I'm a tough person. I keep going. So anyway, so I still have that person as an option, but I feel like God sent to me. I went on there, and one person I called said, I'll come over and see, can I help you get some of your stuff as a favor, get it started. So, oh, look here, what I got going on there. Let me see, because I'm trying to keep up and say hello. Let's see, I am lovely Dove 23. Hi, Miss Cynthia. Hello there. Hello there. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, so I got a guy. He said he would come over and he would try to get this started. So he couldn't get it started. So he said, well, I know I have some people that I take stuff to. So he gave me the name of a guy. So it was such a blessing, because first of all, it was a blessing that he came, and he just was doing it as a favor. He was a nice guy. He's married. He's a nice guy. He's not trying to, do anything or whatever, unsavory. So anyway, he gave me the name of another man. So I called him up and took some equipment to him. He did. And he was so reasonable. He was so reasonable. He fixed my thing. He fixed it fast. He didn't charge me much. And so now I have somebody that I can take stuff to that's not a company, because I don't want to go to these companies. They're horrible. I've had experiences with them. So anyway, so now I can take some of this stuff that I'm having a problem with and get it taken care of. So it's just like, God bless me. God looks after me. God got me. So, I just felt like, yeah. So I'm just telling anybody who's listening, if you're going through, if you feel like you're under attack, if you feel like a lot of things are going wrong, if you feel like the devil's coming at you every which way, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Keep on praying. Just keep on praying and keep on stepping, because God got you. God got you. If you believe, and if you are the person who, live a righteous life. None of us are perfect, but live a righteous life. And then you'll be blessed, because I feel like a lot of things along the way God has shown me. Okay, let me try to catch up with the chat. I got Gina versus Gina. Hello. Apartment prepper. Hi, Miss Cynthia. Hello there. So hi, you guys. I'm so glad you joined in today. And so this is all about a pep talk. A pep talk. Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep on going. And sometimes in the garden things don't work out right. Maybe you have stuff that goes wrong or didn't work out, or still don't give up. I have had my failures in the garden. I've had my successes in the garden. But one thing I have is joy in the garden. I don't know if anybody else has that. And let's see what we have here. Florence, Lindsay, so happy for you, Miss Cynthia, that you get some help. Oh, yes. I'm so happy too. Thank you. Thank you. Because I was wondering if I was going to get any help or not, or I was going to have to go to these big companies that I knew I could see where they was going because it's terrible. I called one company about my air conditioner, and I went on YouTube. I looked at everything. I saw, I'm not a professional, but I just like to go look so I can give you a quote. You can have an idea. Do that sound right or it don't? So, but anyway, this one company, 3 different prices that you're going to pay to them. And this is something, this company never did this before. I had dealt with them years before, but this is what they're doing now. So there's a lot of companies out here in my community. They're like vultures. Oh, it's terrible. So I hope that nobody else is having that problem. But just if you are having that problem, God is in there. God will help you. So I got the help, and I got things. I'm behind because I had some problems, and I needed to stop and see how I could get those problems fixed. Let's look over here again and see what's going on. Partner prepper, I think it's everywhere like that. I would imagine. It's something else. It's unbelievable to me. And it's like I be thinking to myself, if they think they're gonna break our back, if you break our back, then who are you gonna have? You clean us out and clean out our pocketbook because things are not gonna get better, they're gonna get worse. And so if you break all the people, it ain't gonna help your situation. Temporarily, you may have some money in your pocket, but down the road, you're gonna be paying for that. Talking about companies or anybody else that does things wrong, it comes back on you. It doesn't work out in a good way. Okay, so I found that out, and I've also found out that when I'm in my valleys, and I would say for these last 2 years, like last year, not last year, and this year, the first part of this spring season, I was feeling like I was in the valley. But when you're in the valley, that is where you learn your lessons. So you grow, and your faith grows. So don't give up. And if you remember that, because every time I think back about when I was in a valley and how God brought me out, it was so wonderful. So wonderful. Yeah, apartment prep. Yes, ma'am. That's what apartment prepper says. That's right. Gina says so true. Yes, it absolutely is. And I am speaking from experience because I can remember so many times people, naysayers said this or that or whatever, and how you gonna do this and how you think you're gonna do that, and I just kept on stepping. That's why I say keep on stepping, because it turned out not only did I do it, but I did it plus. So that is what I believe in. And if you see in my garden, there's joy in my garden. It's beautiful in my garden. And there's also God in my garden. Yes. So it was just such a beautiful day today. It's really nice here. It's beautiful. It's about 70 something, and the sun was really hot. And when the sun was beating down on me, it was bad. But and I mean, if you're in a place that you think that that's good, but the sun lately has been really, really bad. And by me being so behind, the guy's going to come get my riding mower, but he can't come get it next week. So my backyard needed to be cut. And I have a self-propelled mower, And so I said, well, you better get out there and start cutting that grass because this grass grows too tall and you're going to really have a problem. And I got a big yard, so I can't afford to wait. So I was out here in that beaten down sun walking around cutting. And you know what? I thought it was going to be hard. It wasn't even hard. It wasn't even hard at all, because I remember one time, this has only happened to me twice and I've been in this house 40 years. So this happened to me once a long time ago, and I had a self-propelled mower at that time, and I got out and I did it. And this time it happened to me, but this time I learned from that first time. And that first time I remember this guy had come around the side of the house, and I was back here cutting, walking, and he was bringing a package or something. And he looked at me, he said, "Lady, you need some help." I looked at him and I said, "You don't see it? You don't see my help?" He looked at me. I said, "Oh, God got it. All these angels and all these things around me helping me out here. I'm not doing this alone." I sure did. And I meant every word of it. And that's the way it has been in my life. And so I would tell anybody, don't give up. If you want a garden, if you want a homestead, if you want property, if you want animals, whatever it is you may want, you plan for it, but prayer is powerful. And that's the first thing that I do is to pray. So, and I think, people who, you got to be a righteous person. That's what I think. I think the more, if you're a righteous person, not a perfect person, but a righteous person, I think your prayer is powerful. Your prayer is powerful, and prayer is powerful. And so, that's one thing, because different people in my family call me up and say, "Hey, would you start praying for me for this or pray for me for that?" Because they know, they've learned. When I got on that prayer, they saw things happening. So I'm thankful for that. I'm so thankful, and I'm so blessed. Now, let me see, y'all. I have lost and not kept up here. Let's see. Take a minute and look. Okay, Gina, I always know when things are getting rough, I'm not only going to come through, but grow from the experience. Amen to that. Yes, you will. That is so true. And then apartment prepper, and that said, amen. And then Florence, amen. That's so true. Apartment prepper, God sent me to your live stream. I needed this today. Oh, honey, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing both ways. And it's also a blessing to everybody in this chat and everybody that's looking that's not in the chat. Okay. So, I always used to say when I was younger, I used to always say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's a saying people used to say. But you know what? It's so true. So when things get tough, don't have no pity party. No. There's certain things that you can do. I'm not saying that you're not going to go through some stuff, because you're going to go through some stuff, because we were never told that we're not going to go through stuff. We are going to go through stuff. And I think once you learn that, I'm kind of looking around at different things going on around me, y'all. So it's kind of distracting. Like I got a bug over here, and I don't know what he's doing, but I had to get him out of here. But things will get tough, and you just gotta weather the storm. Weather the storm, and have peace. And it's not just weather the storm, but it's how you weather the storm. Have peace in the midst of the storm. Now that right there is powerful faith. And so I know that, there's been times that people might look at you and think, "Oh yeah, she got it going on. She don't have no problem. She blah, 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 blah." They'd have no idea what you may be going through or what your problems may be. But you got that peace because one way or the other. I may go through something, but one way or the other, I ain't going through it alone. I ain't going through it alone, and God got me. So that's the one thing that helps me to feel good. And I see I got 5 thumbs up. Thank you so much, guys, for those 5 thumbs up. And if anybody else haven't gave me a thumbs up, go ahead and do it. It helps me out. It makes me feel good to know that y'all watching and I'm being something beneficial here. So, let me see if what's got over here. Yeah, God. Yes, yes, yes. She said, yeah, God. That's wonderful. There's nothing like that. That's a sweet thing. And I think that sometimes I look around and I look at my blessings. So let's talk about blessings because we go through stuff. And sometimes you go through stuff, but you miss the blessings. You miss your blessings. So sometimes I just sit around and I just look and I think of this and I think of that and all different things. And I just go and thanking God for this. Thank you for that, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all the stuff that I didn't even know that you did. Isn't that powerful? Because you think about all the things that could have happened to you. Could have happened to you, but didn't happen to you. I'm going to tell you a story. I was going down the expressway in the wintertime when I was working. I'm a retired travel nurse. And the road was slick and icy on the expressway, but I had to go to work. And so I'm on there, but my car felt like, yeah, I know this is ice under these wheels. So I'm driving carefully, but as I looked down the road, I saw accidents happening. And it was so many cars that all the cars were being involved in the accident because the one car had the accident and then all of them was sliding and hitting each other and everything. But then what happened was one car had a, I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, it slid, but it ended up flipping all the way over. This was the one in front of me. All the way over. It was on the hood of the car laying on the ground, upside down. And I was right behind that. And I just went right over to the side and got on the exit, which happened to be where I need to get off at. Got over onto that exit and got off. And I thought about that when I got off of that because that was the worst accident I've ever seen. And I thought, wow, look at all that and all them people that was involved in that and how I just got off and none of that affected me. I didn't take that for granted. I did not take that for granted because I could have died out there. I'm sure that people was hurt bad. And it was like you had to just get off because it was going to be piles up. I don't know how many more cars behind me or whatever, but you get off of there. Get to the side or get away from it if you can. And I just felt like, oh yes. I felt like God had me at that moment. I just felt it in my spirit that I was protected. Because when you get in your car and you drive, I always get in my car and pray. I don't know if anybody else do that, but when I get in that car, I do it in my house, I do it everywhere. But when I get in that vehicle, I pray. And I do that all the time. I don't forget to do it. And that is so important for your protection out here driving on these roads. You see how crazy people are out here with everything that's happening? So I'm not a doom and gloom person, but I'm just saying, be prayed up. So let me see what I got going on here. Yes. Apartment prepper said yes. Okay, yeah. So I always remember that. I always remember that because it had such an impact on me. When I got to work, I was just shaking. And it was just so amazing to me how I just glided right on out of that whole thing like I was just led. Nothing touched me. So I think that that's what I wanted to say today. And it's not gardening, but it's a part of life. It's a part of what you need to garden. What you need to garden, you have to have up here together, because it all works together. And the garden helps you a lot. You know, I feel like when I get out here and garden, I'm happy. I'm happy all the time, but I'm just saying this is like the place. Like out here now, I'm watching these birds, and I don't know. I wish I couldn't get my phone working. I don't know how to do that on the show, y'all. But right now over there in the bird bath, I got the male and female cardinal on the bird bath, and they about maybe 20, 30 feet from me. They're not scared of me. These birds, they see me out here working. They're not afraid of me. They'll come out and fly, and it's a robin out here that comes and will come right up on me and watch and look and everything. So I don't know. The garden is a wonderful place. It is. So I hope that, if you don't have a garden, you do some type of growing something. And, I got my sister right now. Let me see if I'm missing somebody. Maui Mago. Hi, Miss Cynthia and viewers. Hello there. Welcome. Hello to you. And if there's anybody I missed, I'm saying hello. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, and I think that the garden is just a beautiful, wonderful place. And it's such a blessing to me to have one. I don't take that for granted. So count your blessings. You hear that? People say that like a cliche, like, but I'm saying it for real. Count your blessings. And what I mean by that is pay attention. Be thankful. Don't just take it for granted, and realize that you're blessed. Even when something is going wrong, you're still blessed. So I think that when the enemy comes against you, I tell you this, I always say, a door that God is open, no man can shut. So you just keep on stepping. Because if you on the right path, you prayed up, you done all that you can do. You just keep on stepping. You'll be all right. Amen. I am Lovely Dove 23. I hope I'm not messing anybody's name up. Says amen. So I think that's important. And I think gardening and to me, gardening and God go together. Let's see, Florence. Yes, it is for me. After 2 knee replacements, I didn't know what to do, and I started my garden. I love it. All right, that's so wonderful. See, you went through something, but you went through. You came out. You came out, and look what you have, a beautiful garden. So I think that that's it. I think a lot of times we think we're not supposed to go through anything, but I think that I go through stuff all the time. And like I say, it's not the fact that you're going through it, it's how you go through it. How you go through it is so important. Because if I'm crying the blues or having a pity party or whatever, what is that saying about my faith? Or I just can't be like that. So, and let's see. I am Lovely Dove 23. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I think she's saying about the what Florence Lindsay said, and Florence Lindsay said, "Thank you." So I think that I didn't want to. I hope that I'm not sounding like doom and gloom, but I hope I'm encouraging, um, because that's the way I feel, encouraging. I just wanted to share that, even though maybe some people think, oh, she got it going on. I have problems. I have things that happen. I don't let that stop me. I don't let that stop me. No, I keep on going, and I keep on dealing with life, and I keep on staying prayed up and really paying attention to my blessings, because I'm very blessed. And as I sit here talking and I'm looking all around and I'm talking about that because I can't take my eyes off my garden. Oh, because it's looking so beautiful. It is not ready. It's not. I'm sitting here looking at some grass growing around some pots and different things. But I mean, it's not in the condition that I want it to be in, but it's beautiful to me anyway. It's beautiful to me anyway. So that's what I wanted to talk about is on that subject. And it was one thing that I had wanted to bring up. Those concrete mixer things. This is totally off the subject. Those big concrete things that people plant in. I had bought 2 of those. I was going to plant my strawberries. I have strawberries growing in the walkway. I want to get them up and plant them, which I am going to do. But as I was reading the concrete mixer label, it said it was made out of recycled, I think it was LPDE or something like that. It was some letters after it. And so I just Googled it. I Googled it just to see, because it was recycled. And one thing I found out about it, the more I dug into it, it said that it wasn't safe. It's not food safe, and it's not recommended for that anything, because it was misleading because the packaging, and I went to the website and they had plants and stuff growing in them, and they said you can use them from all these different things. But I had noticed none of those pictures showed any vegetables. It showed other things, flowers and other stuff. So I just checked it out, and I just wanted to mention that I think from what I got from the research, and anybody who's listening that this may be helpful, you can do your own research on this. But I think if you're going to do that, the recycled one, the one that's recycled plastic is the one that not good. Now, I think if it was that LPDE, I think that's what the letters was. If it's that plastic, from what I saw in the research, that's fine. But it was that one that's recycled, that's the one that wasn't good. And it was a lot of things that it was saying about it as far as chemicals and stuff. So I just thought I would pass that along, because when I saw that, because I thought, oh man, I bought 2 of these things, and I bought them back in the when it was cold. So it ain't like I can take them back. So I was thinking, I done bought 2 of these, and now I can't plant in them. And I thought I had a place to put the strawberries, and now, because I wanted to get something big enough for the strawberries, so that they can be in there for a minute and not have to, keep trying to get them into something else. But eventually, it's going to be some more stuff going on here, but I can't tell y'all everything. Because if I tell y'all everything, you won't have to have no reason to look. But I have a lot going on up here that I want to do out here. So, yeah, I'm got big plans. I got big plans. Let's see what's going on over here in the chat. Oh, okay, so apartment prepper said not doom and gloom. Oh, very encouraging. Okay, thank you. That's what I'm trying to be, encouraging. So I just wanted to put that out there. No matter where you at, my sister's in an apartment, and I was talking to her a couple of days ago, and she has beautiful houseplants. She's very good. She has a green thumb, and but her gardening is all inside, whereas mine is all outside. And so I had just mentioned it to her. I said, well, you could take some of those. I didn't know how she was going to take that. So I just said, you can take some of those pots that you got growing those house plants in, and you can grow you some food in there. Because she got great big windows and good light that comes through them. And so I said, and so she said, yeah, I couldn't. And she seemed interested. So when I saw she was more kind of interested in it, then I kind of went into it more. I said, well, I'm going to go through my seeds and see what I think I said, you can definitely grow you some lettuce. You can, I said, I may have some seeds or some stuff that you can grow because I know she know how to grow. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Urban Girl Gardening and Lifestyle. Hey, all right. Welcome to the chat. So pleased to have you here. And so I'm going to go through my seeds, and I know I'm gonna find lettuce and spinach and some things like that. And I think I had some microgreens, and I got to see what else because I don't garden inside, but I know a lot of people do. And I want to see what I can get her going on because I know once she gets started, she's going to be hooked because she already loves gardening. And now, she gardens inside with those houseplants. But this way, I wanted her to have some food. So, in this current situation, what's going on, you can always grow you something, have something growing in your house where you can eat something nutritious. So I think that I was feeling real good about that she was interested in it, and that I'm going to help her get started. I'm gonna try to help her set it up. Well, she don't really need that much help, but just telling her about the vegetables and the basics of starting out growing a vegetable. It's pretty much like growing anything else. Let's see. Okay, Urban Girl Gardening and Lifestyle. That's awesome. Okay, wow. Thank you. Now, listen, you guys, you see each other in this chat. You want to check each other's channel out. If you don't know somebody, check them out. And if it's somebody that has content that you're interested in, go ahead and, subscribe to them. That doesn't hurt anything. And, I think it's good to have, I like to have it where people are interested in what you're doing. You know what I mean? And they're watching your videos and they're being active with your channel. To me, that's how you grow on YouTube. Because if you just get people that just come on subscribe and you never see them again, that doesn't help you. So I think that's why I always say, if you like their content, go ahead, subscribe, So I think that this platform, we're so blessed that when we talk about blessings, this is a blessing. YouTube is a blessing. Let's see what's on here. Yes, Urban Girl Gardeners and Lifestyle says yes, true subscribers. Yes, that's true. That is so true. And, I think that it took me a while to learn that when I was on YouTube, when I first started out on YouTube. Let me see, I figured I've been on YouTube maybe 4 years. I think it's been about 4 years. It took me a while to kind of get the hang of how, and so now you get a certain confidence and you start putting out your content and doing what you do and sharing what you share. You get a certain confidence in that. And I think that whatever your thing is, do it the best you can. Do it the best you can. And I think that'll be, you'll grow. You'll grow from that. And so I think that I don't know. Oh, okay. So Mago says, for real, yes. Yes, for real. You got that right. So it's just so wonderful. I think I'm gonna put something on the grill today. Just put something on the grill and just chill here. Later on, maybe when it get a little dark, I have a little fire. So anyway, I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. I hope that your gardens will be blessed, and I hope that you will be blessed. Um, and I hope that when you get to those tough times, that you remember that I think when you on the cusp, at least this has worked for me, the way it's been in my life. When I'm on the cusp of really breaking into something powerful, devil comes at me. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I got your number. I got God. Amen. So I mean, just remember that. So when you're going through tough times, like that old saying that people used to say, but there's a lot of truth in it. You know, it's the darkest before the light. Yeah. But just know the light's right up there. You just can't see it yet. So just get on through that darkness. So that's what I wanted to say, guys. And every one of you who came on here, I'm so thankful that you did. And it really blessed me. And let me see if I can call out some names on here. Um, I am Lovely 23, Florence Lindsay, Apartment Prepper, Urban Girl Gardening and Lifestyle, um, Maui Mango. Let's see if I missed anybody in here. Trying to make that go up, and I don't know how to do it. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who came, everyone who listened, everyone who blessed me today. And I send blessings to you in your garden and your life. So I shall see you next time. Okay? Bye.